Hello, I want to thank everyone for joining the Verkada and Cradlepoint webinar. If you were receiving this means that your CDW account manager has sent this to you because Verkada is one of the fastest growing physical security companies in the world, and they thought that Verkada and Cradlepoint may be a great solution for you to look at. So I want to thank you all for joining. The webinar today will last approximately 20 minutes, and so hopefully we get you in and out. We'll pack it with a lot of information that I think will be very valuable to you. The presenters for today's call will be Nick Carlton, who is a mid-market account executive from Verkada, as well as Madison Camp, who is the Cradlepoint brand manager for CDW. If you're viewing this presentation, at the very end and after the follow-up of this presentation, I will be sending an email from knowledge.beckham@verkada.com out to you. That will allow you to claim your free Yeti. So yes, you're receiving a free Yeti for joining today's webinar, as well as a few brief questions in case there's follow-up needed after the call. So with that being said, I am going to pass it over to Nick Carlton from Verkada to take you through the Verkada demo. Nick, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Thanks, Knowledge. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. I'm going to kick off with some slides here, tell you a little bit about Verkada and how we how we operate, but then we'll get into the fun stuff and show you what it looks like to actually manage a Verkada platform. So like Knowledge said, we're the fastest growing in the industry. We're based out of San Mateo, have offices all around the nation, including internationally. Back in 2016, when we were founded, we started with $80 million worth of investments from a handful of these guys down below. Today, we're valued at $3.2 billion. So we're spreading like a wildfire. All of our customers really enjoy using the platform because it's easy to use, it's reliable, and you never feel like you're on an island out there with support, not only from CDW, Cradlepoint, but also Verkada's remote support as well. So again, founded in 2016 by a group of computer scientists out of MIT and Stanford, including the former founder of Meraki, Hans Robertson. Their goal was to modernize the space. In the past, you would have to go to one shop for cameras, another shop for doors, another shop for sensors, and so on. Verkada consolidates everything under one single pane of glass. So we really aim to be that IoT ecosystem for an entire building. So we have things like HVAC and lighting on our roadmap as well. Our goal is also to protect people, assets, and privacy, but also to be the most scalable solution on the market too. So with our simple setup, you're able to move cameras around. You're not tied to one location for X amount of years. You truly have the scalability and the ability to grow your brand with us. So here's a suite of our cloud-based solutions. We started with cameras. Now we manufacture access control, environmental sensors, alarms, and professional monitoring, visitor management, mailroom management, as well as our newest and highly anticipated product, our intercoms. So traditionally, this is what your architecture looks like. You'll notice there's a lot of different steps here. The NVR is what houses all of your data. So if that were to go out, then you've lost that data. And you'll just notice that if you wanted to view everything remotely, then you would have to plug it into a router, poke a hole in your firewall to VPN into the software. And now we're talking about cybersecurity risks. So overall, this type of setup here is just bulky, expensive, tough to maintain with all the moving parts. The best way to think of it before the next slide is Verkada stops right here at the switch, and you can imagine each one of these arrows as a Cat6 Ethernet cable. And the way our cameras actually operate is each one has a solid state drive built in that stores anywhere from 30 to 365 days worth of guaranteed video retention. Then it sends historical data and analytics to the cloud at only about 50 kilobits per second. So about the same size as sending an email over your network. So whether you have tens or hundreds of cameras with us, we won't bog down your network. Then from the cloud, you can access remotely from your mobile device on our app or the web browser from anywhere around the world. We also have a free trial program here where if you don't have any pressing projects at this time, not a problem. We like to put our money where our mouth is and send out a couple cameras, a couple sensors. We can get you set up really on any of our product lines to have you test it out before ultimately talking about projects. Awesome. So now on to the fun stuff here. You'll notice once we hop into the homepage of Verkada Command, you'll notice that it's a very clean cut running feed of all the different cameras you have across all of your sites. That's still a lot to scroll through depending on how many sites you have. So now we are able to break it up by site. You can split it up even further into subsites, whether you own multiple floors, interior versus exterior, whichever works best for you. But a lot of our customers love the fact that we have this Google integrated map here where you can see all around the world where you have cameras deployed with us, and you can tap into any single one of these locations at any given point in time. And we're going to pick on our headquarters today. So once you click on a location, you'll see that you have all these different camera icons, and these are all green, which is great. That means these cameras are healthy and recording. If these icons were to turn yellow, then the camera's gone down or it's updating for some reason. So what we have is our remote support in 3 different ways: a live chat, email, phone number. You have support with Cradlepoint, you have support with CDW and the Verkada reps. Most of our customers use this live chat, and they can solve 95% of issues just in a matter of a few minutes. If we can't solve it here, then all of our devices, not just cameras, come with a 10-year product warranty. So for a whole decade, you can have peace of mind that if a camera goes down, we'll either fix it remotely or we'll send a brand new one to your doorstep. Lastly, we also take care of any automatic firmware and software updates. So any new feature that Verkada comes out with, which usually occurs every 3 to 6 months, is automatically pushed out to our customers totally free of charge. So in the past, you usually had a system that was stagnant. It wasn't really updating on the go or anything like that. So now you'll always have the latest technology and won't fall behind the technology threshold that really seems to be changing every day now. This floor plan is a good example. Rolled it out back in 2020 for COVID and contact tracing purposes, but now it's turned into an interactive map where you can see all the different activity all around your building. And you can also see real-time motion as well. So after multiple updates, it's come to this point, and now I'm going to show you guys how to find, save, and share footage here. So the live footage is up top here. You can also see who all is on the camera, and you can force log them out if they're not supposed to be there and you have admin access. You can also select the day and time there, and your historical footage will be just down below it. So these clips are split up into 24 hours right now. You can split these up all the way down to 20 seconds. And all I have to do is just hover my mouse over these thumbnails, and these blue tick marks tell me any time motion occurs. You'll notice that people have a green box around them, any vehicles have a yellow box. And let's say something happened overnight. If you're not sure where to start, then you can select heat maps. I like to split these clips up into an hour just to break it down easier. And now you're getting those same activity blobs, but just in this camera's field of view. Well, maybe we just found out something happened in our front door. So we want to select this given area, and we want to filter by people. Hopefully no vehicles going through this door anyway. But now we're seeing every single person that was detected in this specific region that I've drawn. Same goes for, let's say, there was a bike stolen outside of the office. Then you can select multiple boxes, search by the same parameters, and get all the information you need that way. Taking that a step further, once we found somebody, you can actually search based on their characteristics. So let's say they were wearing a red shirt. Now you can search upper body red, lower body by pant color, gender appearance, wearing a backpack or not, or the day that something occurred. And now you're seeing everyone wearing a red shirt. Same thing with vehicles. Instead of a red shirt, now we can be looking for a red truck. Same type of setup there, same type of search. And we have cameras that'll pick up on license plates. So you can mark license plates of interest, but more importantly, our cameras pick up on faces on the go, and you can create profiles based on this and mark people of interest. So if you do, so you can get notified whether you do or do not want that person to be on premise. Lastly, when it comes time to actually save a clip. So let's say this is the clip we wanted. Then you can take a screenshot right from here. You can also save this clip, set the duration, add any notes, blur any faces, share it with whomever, but all of these clips will be time-stamped. So if you did have to use it in court or law, it would be an admissible piece of evidence. And you can save as many clips as you want. So let's say you have 30 days of retention on the camera and you save a clip. Well, that clip will live there forever unless it's manually deleted. You'll notice the watermark in the top left. You can add or edit notes, download this straight to your computer as an MP4 format, or share it out over phone number, email, or if they're in the system, just type in their name. Give them access to only view the video or view and download, and for however long. You can go back and revoke that access at any time. Now, one last part when it comes to sharing footage is you can share a live feed of a singular camera's footage by entering the same parameters there, but instead we're saying you can only view the video or you can have access to the features as well. Not only one camera, but you can share an entire site worth of cameras. Very powerful feature to make sure that your site is staying safe. So now moving on to how Verkada takes a proactive approach to security here. So as I go through all these devices, all of them will have the ability to push out different alerts and notify you of things going on in your environment. Ultimately, you can set up all these events for it to populate in a running feed here, but then from there, you can create an alert based on those events. So you can determine which site or which specific device you want to push these alerts. and then which event. So we have if a camera goes down, if a crowd's forming, if motion occurs, if a person of interest were to pop up, or if the camera was being tampered with, and you can schedule all those things so an alert like motion isn't pushing out alerts all throughout the day. Moving on to access control. Now this is where cameras start to tie in with our other devices. So you can pair up to 2 cameras per door. A lot of receptionists love the fact that you can remotely unlock this door right from here. And you can see that we get a log of every time this door was unlocked, and you get a nice video feed of it as well. You can search for events over the course of the past year, and you can search for users. A lot of people love this for time card issues, and if not, I know a lot of people have kind of a hybrid schedule coming in and out of the office. So some of my customers use this for keeping tabs on how many people are in the office so they know how much food to cater that day. You get a plethora of all these different events here. My personal favorite is tailgating, where our cameras and our doors are talking to one another. Camera sees 3 people walk in, door only sees 1 badge. It sparks a tailgating event. Things like door held open and door forced open can be a couple events that you can get notified on that way. And then you can put all of your different users very easily into access groups, basically deciding which doors they can go through and when. And you can schedule this door outright to be locked, unlocked, or access controlled, which just defaults to permissions. Lastly, you can set up lockdown scenarios. So if there's ever an emergency inside or around the building, then you can conduct a lockdown in a matter of a click of a button. And you can add as many users as you want, not only to the Verkada platform to see the cameras or not see the cameras, but also how many people can get in and out of doors too. Now, moving on to air quality, we have 3 sensors in our product family. And the first one is our SV21. This one is our simplest at measuring temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, and tampering. Just like if I were looking at a camera here, instead of going over just the video feed, now we're going over all the different, or this line chart here that shows us the different measurements and the video feed to go along with it. You can see anytime below that the parameters were broken that you set in settings right here. You can decide if the temperature drops below a certain level or goes above a certain level, who gets notified on that, and you can stack as many people to get notified as well. Second sensor here is our SV23. This one's a little more inclusive with vaping, temperature, humidity, CO2, noise level, air quality, total volatile organic compounds, particulate matter, tampering, and motion. Same as before, you can hover your mouse over any of these, set an alert so you get notified, and you can search for different parameters there. Lastly, our all-inclusive SV25 has everything same as before, except we've added ambient light, air pressure, and now formaldehyde. The nice part about these sensors is that you don't have to click into each specific one to find the measurement you're going for. So now you can set up dashboards with different sensors around your environment to only see what's most important to you. Moving on to our intercoms, this is our newest and my personal favorite product line that we offer. It comes with an intercom, which has a camera built in, and it's like a Ring doorbell on steroids is how I like to describe it. But we also offer an optional desk station, which is beneficial for people who will be on site and who usually buzz people into the building. They will be able to see a feed of multiple different intercoms going on at once. They can talk down through it and unlock the door straight from here. Just like you would on the web browser in this view, you can unlock the door, pair 2 extra cameras with it. But the nicest part about this camera that's built into the intercom is it acts as a freebie camera with the rest of our solution. So all of the analytics that I showed you earlier, you can use those same analytics with the camera that's built into the intercom, so it serves 2 purposes. Now, you also get a feed of all the events that have occurred, anytime calls were missed, anytime someone was denied entry or admitted. And with any of these events, you can see who answered the call, you get timestamps of how long the call ended, and you get a nice view of their face, and you can use our facial analytics to make a profile straight from here, or you can archive this clip straight from here, and you can select which day you're looking for. Now, different days and different times, different people are gonna wanna get that call. So you can set up different call lists where, you know, in this one, it's during on hours, you have our desk station getting the call, then Rachel, then David. During off hours or during different days, you can set up another call list with different people to get notified. And you can stack as many call lists as you would like. Now moving on to our guest solution. Again, our cameras are tied in here. You can lock and unlock doors straight from here with our access control. And to give you an idea, this is what it looks like sitting on your front desk. You can brand it with your logos, your colors, just to make it a more personalized experience for everybody. And now when we go back to a day where there was a lot of activity, you'll notice that Rahul had checked in, the iPad prompted him to take a picture, and now we can see throughout the building where he has gone with our facial analytics. You can see when he signed in, when he signed out. If you had him sign any non-disclosure agreements or COVID agreements, then you can see those there, and you can send those documents out beforehand so that he can fill them out before he arrives. And then you can also print a badge on the spot. That won't be like an access badge, that will be a name tag badge, but you can give them a temporary access link to use the Verkada Bluetooth Verkada Pass app to gain access through Verkada readers. Awesome. And you can also set up as many different guest types as you want and different parameters for each one. So maybe it's a contractor, you just want them to check in every time they show up. Well, maybe they show up a few times over the course of a 2-week job. Then you can pin certain pieces of information like their name, phone number, email, and things like that, so they don't have to refill everything out again. And then lastly, we have our mailroom. So this is a way to track packages coming in and out of the building. You can see who's waiting for a package, which packages were picked up, or you can search for both at the same time. You can search by recipient, location, carrier, when it was dropped off or picked up. And you'll notice that once I click into a specific one, you'll have a video clip with our camera integration to see where the package was actually placed in the mailroom. I know at my apartment, there's a huge issue with this, having to sift through other people's packages, and whether there was any poor intent of taking the wrong package or not. That does occur from time to time. You get a nice zoomed out view of the package and a zoomed out or a zoomed in view as well, like you'll see here. The tracking number, you can add tags, fragile, heavy, and so on. And yeah, lastly, you can add as many users, put them into groups, and have those permissions set up for once they are put into that group. And then you're able to also integrate with your Azure AD, Active Directory, so that it's actually updating in real time. So when you terminate or bring on an employee, it's going to reflect in the Verkada platform as well. Thanks, guys.
Great. Thank you, Nick. Excellent job. Before we close out, as you know, we have a great solution, but without connectivity, it's not very worthwhile, right? So connectivity is definitely of the utmost importance to Verkada's physical security platforms. And so we're proud to partner with providers like Cradlepoint, who specialize in providing reliable connectivity in those difficult to reach places. And so I want to bring in Madison Camp, who is a CDW employee, but she represents the Cradlepoint brand, to tell you a little bit about Cradlepoint and how it works with Verkada. Madison.
Thank you, Knowledge and Nick. Your solutions are incredibly powerful, and there is no doubt and no question of why you are CDW's #1 physical security partner. My name is Madison Camp. Super happy to be here. I'm the Cradlepoint brand manager at CDW. Cradlepoint is the worldwide leader in wireless WAN, the leader in 5G solutions for business. We were the first to market with these solutions and continue to blaze the trail. Cradlepoint does everything wired lines do with cellular connectivity. It's faster, quicker to deploy, and easier to manage. It's the freedom to connect and protect your organization, connecting anything, anywhere, anytime. Cradlepoint specializes in multi-purpose IoT solutions, connecting where wires don't reach. If you're deploying physical security of any capacity, it's typically an urgent matter. Time cannot be wasted, and you cannot afford down networks. Your fastest, most secure, and reliable option is cellular connectivity utilizing the power of 5G. Look no further than the leader in the industry. We don't have time for wires. Whether you're securing retail stores, construction sites, public transit, healthcare, or schools and universities, Verkada connected to Cradlepoint is the way to go. Be sure to reach out to your CDW team and rep to learn more, get and stay connected. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Madison. And again, thank you all for joining this Verkada Cradlepoint webinar. Keep in mind, again, I will be sending out an email to you as a follow-up. We're giving every attendee of this webinar a free Yeti, so you will need to get us your information so we can get your Yeti out to you, as well as a couple of short questions that we'd like to better understand where you're at in your physical security journey. Once again, thank you for joining. And if you have any questions or you'd like a more deeper dive Verkada or Cradlepoint demo or a conversation, please reach out to your CDW rep and they will be able to connect you with the appropriate reps. Thanks again.